So I wanted to actually talk about something off the top of my head. Um, I am not an expert economist, and I don't want to try to come off as one, but I do understand some elementary things about economics. You study political science, you rub elbows with a lot of humanities disciplines like philosophy and history, economics, psychology, all that. But anyways, so the Dow is at like 12,500 points. So there's more money invested in the stock market now than before the 2008 financial collapse. Uh, the housing market, of course, is absolute garbage. There's so much supply that, for example, in Detroit, you can buy a house for $2,000. You can go get a small loan. You can buy a house and live in Detroit if you want to. Uh, all the housing uh, prices are just, they're probably at where they're supposed to be at now. This house that I'm in right now, the city of Johnson estimates the worth of this house at $250,000. It's like $255,000 according to the appraiser's office. It's a nice house, but it's not $250,000. So there's no way. But so that being my point is that uh, so where's the hope in the numbers? And the more I look at this situation, man, it's so abysmal. I don't even know what really to tell my friends except for this. Don't take a loan out for anything. Don't take out a college loan. Don't take a mortgage out of your house. Try very desperately not to use credit cards. If you ain't got the cash for it, then you're gonna have to stash for it. I.e., open up a savings account or a checking account at a local credit union. Screw Citizens Bank, screw Bank of America, F them. No, go down to your local bank, save your money, and then when you get the money for it, when you get the green cash, go buy what you want. I'm telling you right now, these financial institutions are not doing us any favors. These banks, the seven big banks that hold about $8 trillion of the liquid market, all that capital, all that money, it's just going to happen again. Dodd Frank did nothing. All this complaining about, too big to fail and the Tea Party, they have done nothing. That was the only thing that I really admired about the Tea Party is that at least they kind of jumped on the bandwagon a little bit and saying, well, these huge banks, they're screwing up everything. And it's like, man, I think Karl Marx was right that it's banks that produce nothing when it comes to commodities. There's a giant problem with banks because capitalism relies on innovations. So they always have to come up with a new scheme all the time to get you to buy something. So this was predictable that the banks were going to come up with these derivatives and these very exotic schemes of buying and selling these securities. And the whole thing came down like a deck of cards. And then what happened? $700 billion to bail them out. By the way, when George Bush gave out that money, everybody thinks it was Obama. It was George Bush that did it. The whole point of that was to give those banks money to loan it out to us so that we can start businesses and do whatever. Guess what they did with it? They sat on it. They have $2 trillion of money that's overseas that could be injected into our economy. They're just sitting on it. Ladies and gentlemen, the banks, they're not going to help us. We're going to have to help ourselves.